What is sociolinguistics? It is the study of how people use language in their everyday lives. Sociolinguistics looks at how identities are manifested through words we use and how, through language, we intentionally or unintentionally create, maintain, and disrupt relationships with others. Now you may ask yourself, what does sociolinguistics study? It studies the effect of any and all aspects of society, including cultural norms, expectations, and context on the way language is used. For example, a social linguist might determine through study of social attitudes that Black English vernacular would not be considered appropriate language use in a business or professional setting. He or she might also study the grammar, phonetics, vocabulary, and other aspects of this sociolect. Linguistic variation. Linguistic variation means the use of language conditioned by geographical factors, sociocultural, contextual, or historical type. The way speakers use a language is not uniform, but varies according to personal circumstances, time, and type of communication in which they are involved. Depending on the factor that determines the different use of the same language, there are considered various types of variation: the functional variation, sociocultural variation, geographic variation, and historical variation. Linguistic repertoire. The linguistic repertoire is a set of linguistic elements known by a speaker or a community of speakers. It consists of phonemes, words, constructions, variants, and linguistic varieties. In the linguistic repertoire of a person, there can be words of another language. Non-integer languages are included. Only single words, phonemes, loanwords, etc. The speaker of the language has to know and understand the rules of use, not only grammatical, but also contextual, because depending on the context we talk in a certain way or another. Plurilinguism. The term plurilinguism refers to the simultaneous presence of two or more languages in the communicative competence of an individual and the relationship that is established between them. Linguistic knowledge and experiences of an individual can be purchased either in their cultural or school environments. They are organized into systems that are interrelated and interact, helping to develop communicative competence of the subject. Code switching. Code switch is a feature of bilingual speech that consists of alternating between two languages by the same speaker, with a single speech, sentence, or constituent. Diglossia. Diglossia in sociolinguistics, it's a situation in which two distinct varieties of language are spoken within the same speech community. Bilingual diglossia is a type of diglossia in which one language is used for writing and another for speech. There are two types of diglossia: low variety and high variety. Example: children learn the low variety as a native language. In diglossic cultures, it is the language of home, the family, the streets and marketplaces, friendship, and solidarity. By contrast, the high variety is spoken by few or none as first language. It must be taught in school. The high variety is used for public speaking, formal lectures and higher education, television broadcast, sermons, liturgies, and writing. Often, the low variety has no written form. Using the wrong variety in the wrong situation would be socially inappropriate. A very significant aspect of diglossia is the different patterns of language acquisition associated with the high and low dialects. Most reasonably well-educated people in diglossic communities can recite the rules of high grammar but not the rules for low. On the other hand, they unconsciously apply the grammatical rules of low variety in their normal speech with near perfection, whereas the corresponding ability in high variety is limited. In many diglossic communities, if speakers are asked, they will tell you low variety has no grammar, and that low variety speech is the result of the failure to follow the rules of high variety grammar. Sociolinguistic competence. Social linguistic competence is the ability to interpret the social meaning of the choice of linguistic varieties and to use the language with the appropriate social meaning for the communication situation. Example: when greeting someone in very formal situation, an American might say, "Hello, how are you?" or "Nice to see you again." But if he were meeting a friend in an informal situation, it would be much more appropriate to say, "Hi," or "Hey, what you been doing?" World Englishes. World Englishes are the many and varied dialects of English spoken in different parts of the world, including not only American and British English, but such varieties as Indian, Pakistani, Australian, and New Zealand English, as well as the English spoken in various African and Asian countries. In some parts of the world, English is spoken as a natural outgrowth of a colonial period during which certain countries, now independent, were part of the British Empire. In other places, people have been encouraged to learn English because of its widespread use as a language of global communication. Something as an example that can show the differences of world Englishes are accents. Accent is one factor which plays a critical role in determining whether speakers of world Englishes are understood. Even among speakers of the same world English, a difference in accents can cause miscommunication. The distribution of accents across different world Englishes is not universal. For instance, Australian English has only 4 distinct accents, yet American English has a plethora of accents. British English is also rich with a wide range of accents. In some part of the British Isles, neighboring villages communicate with different accents. Some of the well-known British English accents include Cockney from London, Scouse from Liverpool, Geordie from Newcastle, Mancunian from Manchester, Tyke from Yorkshire, Scots from Scottish, and Brummie from Birmingham. For many non-native World English speakers, their mother tongue can affect their ability to speak with an authentic accent. In many cases, it is not easy for them to reproduce certain sounds in particular World English. For instance, some common problematic sounds are the TH sound as in mouth and thumb, the R sound as in right, the L sound as in light. Lastly, I would like to end this video by explaining how sociolinguistics will help or has helped language teachers. It has helped achieve a greater understanding of the nature of language, as well as its manifestation, along with the understanding of the nature of society. Sociolinguistics has implied better preparation on the foreign language teacher's part, and a more complete and complex exposure to the target language and the evolving factors in it on the student's part. The fact that we are becoming language teachers signifies that we are using applied linguistics. A knowledge of sociolinguistics can help us teach our students the understated distinction of the language that will help them achieve native speaker proficiency. This branch of linguistics examines the social traits of language, such as humor, slang, and dialect. Use sociolinguistics to teach students the social appropriates of different phrases. For example, teaching them to say, "Will you please close the door?" instead of "shut the door," can help to prevent offense and awkwardness. By doing this, you can create successful performance for foreign language learners. Students will have successful performance if they are aware of the many possibilities in which communication takes place. They also need to be very careful in which context they use the language and know the potential contribution they can make by just using language effectively. Most importantly, they need to be aware of which way one interaction can be followed by another, and then different interactions will occur. So there you have it. That is sociolinguistics and some information about it. Hope you enjoyed.